Hi, I'm JP. I'm a current senior who's about to graduate and about to head off to college. And I went through the college applications process with at Bright Futures with my friend.
Jacob. I'm also a senior. Also went through the college applications process with Bright Futures, and we're friends. So this is mutual. And
Yeah, we're excited to see what the
yes,
future holds.
yes.
It's a bright one.
So I got into here in Texas. I got into Rice, A&M, and UT, and outside I got into Notre Dame, uh, Boston College, WashU, and the ones that I really liked the most were Rice and Notre Dame. Considering those two as my first options right now. And Bright Futures helped me with, I think, the applications to all of them. I'm pretty sure I was like walked along the process for every single one of those applications. And yeah, I mean, those applications are done like 50. Just that's a partnership between me and my counselor, Elena, and that really helped me.
Okay. I got into also UT and I got into Notre Dame as well. And those are ultimately the two that I've kind of narrowed it down to. But I also got into UVA, Boston College, WashU, Villanova. Basically, what Bright Futures helped me to do is to again walk through the application process, but specifically to first of all narrow down the colleges that I was really looking at and the colleges I wanted to apply to, and then secondly, a lot of my essays were done one on one with the counselors at Bright Futures, and that helped a lot with my application process. And I think those are the two key aspects that Bright Futures really helped me with. One, first of all, finding out which colleges I was applying to, and second of all, the actual essays and walking through that application process.
Nice.
You killed it, dude.
I can start with this one.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of people that wrote multiple essays at the essay camp, but I predominantly focused on one, which was my main Common App application, which I applied to, or I sent to every single school that I applied to. And what really helped me at that camp was, so I'd never written an essay of that type before. I wasn't really used to writing about myself, and so first of all, we got a lot of demo papers and a lot of examples that were really useful in kind of figuring out what I wanted to write about for myself. And then also, throughout the whole week, we had a one-on-one time whenever we wanted to. So we could just bounce back and forth between several different counselors that were there to help us really figure out what we really wanted to write about with our essay. And I found that I kind of rambled on a lot in mine. And so I think the main help was cutting that down, really prioritizing what I wanted the college to know about me specifically, what the message I wanted to portray in my essays.
I wrote a couple of essays at the camp. What was most useful about the camp for me was just having that time that was specifically only for writing essays, because before that I hadn't done anything for college.
I think
kind of
having an actual block of time helps.
Yeah, it was just kind of this far off thing. I guess we'll have to do it eventually. But once you were there, you either wrote the essay or just wasting your time. So I wrote my essays, and having the one-on-one time with the counselors really helped, because I'm not really good at writing essays too much. So just having them was no, this kind of sucks, Jacob. So that was helpful to have.
So I think that the essay, or especially nowadays, with the whole college application process is as competitive as it ever has been. And I think that when you're just looking at the numbers like GPAs and test scores, students, especially in college's eyes, can start to look very similar and just start to look like numbers on a page. And so I think that the essays are really what helps you either stand out or fall back into the crowd. And I think the essays were key in all of my applications, because they're pretty much everyone's qualified on a number scale, but those who lack the ability to really write about themselves or really write about how they're going to improve themselves at the college or how they're going to improve the college itself, that's when they really figure out whether that student is going to be someone they want on their campus or not. And so I think that it's really important to have a strong essay, and especially multiple essays, because a lot of these colleges require multiple essays. So I think that it's a key aspect of the application process for sure.
Yeah, I agree with everything JP said. I mean, I think the essays were a huge part in my getting into all the colleges I did get into. All their questions, it just seems like sometimes I just made it up. But they're actually very carefully crafted by the admissions. I mean, once you think about it, they're asking like I was reading my Notre Dame essays recently, and they asked about Catholic education, what you think about that. I just wrote about my experience as in a Catholic high school, Catholic middle school. And actually reading back my essays, I felt like I had maybe too strong of a voice, maybe too much emphasis on some things. But you sometimes have to have a different writing style.
A bolder.
Yeah, a bolder stance.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, essays were an integral part of
Yeah,
the
I think
college
that
application.
the words really was what makes you stand out, other than just like I said before, the test scores and the GPA. Oh, I think while this is normally more of a parent-geared question, it definitely helped me and my parents in that first of all, they recommended different financial consultants and advisors that could really walk through the numbers with my parents, as I'm the first child they're sending through college, so they're kind of new to the whole experience, and so they definitely helped in that sense, and also with a lot of scholarship help. Me and the counselors, we wrote a lot of the scholarship essays, and we also tried to find scholarships that would work with me and that I would be a candidate for. And so it helped on the scholarship side, and also with the actual like FAFSA financial aid aspect to college with my parents.
Yeah, I had a meeting here at Bright Futures in August because around that time my parents and I were kind of confused as to the whole process. I'm the first one, and my family also did go through the college process. And just in the meeting, we talked about how finances, we just a reprioritizing of what we're looking for in a college. For me especially, just kind of, what am I looking for in a college? And that was one of the things they brought back to. So that was important.
Yeah. Well, at first, like Jacob, I'm sure, I was somewhat overwhelmed by the college application process at first, because there's so many options out there that I was really unsure and undecided. And Bright Futures, first of all, helped me figure out which I should apply to and which I shouldn't apply to, because being relatively undecided, there's some colleges that are a better fit to that and some that aren't. And also, since they've been on a lot of the campuses, they can kind of give me a feel on whether what the college students and what their faculty promote, whether they match up with my values and what I really want in a college, because I wasn't really sure what I wanted myself. And I think that as they got to know me better, they got to understand what would be a better fit for me. And that's when we really started to narrow things down with research online and looking at both the numbers side of things and also both the environment side of things.
Yeah, like JP said, in August, I was kind of overwhelmed by the whole college process. My college list was really a list of college names I recognized, and just like remember like, oh, I should apply to this place also.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kind of trimmed it down to places that I researched it. My counselor helped me see what places I would actually like going to. I tried to have a list that was
Like, some of it's on our own. We had to do some research on our own, but
just a lot of like healthy options. You know, some reach, some safer options, some out of state, in state, and I ended up choosing, or right now I'm debating between Notre Dame and Rice because staying close to home is something important to me. And actually, JP and I and another friend of ours, visited Notre Dame, and we were kind of blown away by just the school spirit, the kind of
like we both all three of us really were in tune with the environment there.
Yeah, just like the aura, honestly, Notre Dame has.
Yeah.
It's really like places like Yale and Harvard, they have the name, but like Notre Dame also, like it was very strong to be there. And Rice, because it's very close to home, it's very strong academically. And those are the two places I'm between right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that once I got in places, the list almost kind of started to narrow down by itself. And then once you get to those last three is now where I'm really starting to come back. Even though the last couple of weeks, since I've just kind of been waiting on college responses, I haven't met too much with my counselors, but now I'm starting to come back to them as I'm really starting to make the hard decisions and really start to weigh in the factors and prioritize which factors I really want to.
Yeah, it's one thing to just apply to a place, and then when you hear back from them and if they accept you, it's another thing to like really consider. For example, an example for me is Wash U. When I applied, I was like, wow, this place is really good academic. I can definitely see myself going there. But I got in, and it wasn't such a good fit.
Neither one of us really felt that.
Yeah, it wasn't such a good fit. I mean, it's just the college list definitely. Actually, where you're actually going, it makes itself. You said it best. come March, April, the list narrows itself down pretty easily.
Yeah.
But then you're left with like one or two options, and
It's a good position to be in, though.
yeah, it's
To have
definitely,
options.
but it's difficult to split them. And I texted my college counselor recently, asking for some advice, and I mean, it's just a very difficult decision to make.
Yeah, they're always open to giving
Yeah.
advice and
Yeah.
helping with that. So as I said earlier, me and my family were somewhat overwhelmed with the college process at first because we hadn't really gone through it before. And after speaking to some close family friends that had already sent kids through the college process, they recommended Bright Futures to us. And also, I have another close friend who is currently with Bright Futures, who's in my grade also, and they've been working with them for super, super long. And so it was kind of by word of mouth that we figured out that we wanted to work with them.
We heard from his family, and we weren't too happy with how our school counselors were helping us.
Yeah.
We kind of felt like they were leaving us on our own a little bit.
Yeah, there was a big transition period with our college counseling department, and we felt that they weren't really.
Especially for us, because we're the first ones going through in our families.
Yeah.
We needed definitely a strong hand guiding us in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Bright Futures definitely provided that in an insightful way.
I think that while a lot of the help was on the college application process, there's also been a lot of stuff applicable to other parts of life too, and just I guess figuring out how to find your path, not just in a college sense, but in a career sense, in a personal life sense, in a lot of aspects and there's been a lot of tips and general life advice that I can apply to other areas, and I feel more prepared to, I guess, take on the world because of it, and I think that those are the big takeaways. Other than just the college application process and the essay help, there's a lot of tips with really following what you want to do and figuring out what you want to do. That's what I would say.
Yeah, thinking about it, I can't really come up with a certain phrase or any one line. It was just more that throughout the process, anytime I was like, oh my god, I haven't done like my UT answers yet, like in a week. It was just kind of like a source of comfort, and like I can get it done. I can just call my college counselor, and yeah, just a very relaxed, experienced look at the college counseling or the college process. That was, I mean, an enormous sense of comfort for me and for my mom, because she was like, she was tracking my stuff on the Common App website. She was like, hasn't done this essay still.
I feel like both of our
Yeah.
moms were definitely
Yeah.
fairly worried, to say the least, about both of us, but I think they also got a sense of comfort knowing that we were both in good hands and we were doing the work. And we were also doing the work by ourselves too, that we needed to, because part of it's still
It
on
kind of
yourself.
it kind of broke up the process into like bite-sized pieces, because before I kind of saw it as like just a huge pill to swallow. Like, oh, I have to apply to college. I was like, if I was just gonna do like in one afternoon, just send everything to everyone.
Definitely more than one afternoon.
Yeah, a couple more. But it was, yeah, just I'm very grateful for all the time spent with my college counselor and all the help I received from them.